Welcome to Egypt. Over the past couple of days, we've been exploring Cairo and the pyramids, but today we are starting out on what I am sure will be an unforgettable adventure. After a long 10-hour drive, we've arrived in Siwa, an oasis deep in the heart of Egypt's desert. And over the next couple of days, we'll be sandboarding and cruising across the dunes, swimming in salt pools, and experiencing the history, culture, and people of this amazing town. After dropping off our bags at our eco-lodge and exploring a little bit of the property, we met up with our guide Mohammed to begin our adventure out on the sand dunes. We stopped a few times in town to get the necessary permits, and then we were off to what they call the Great Sand Sea. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Just waiting to go out to the desert and do some sand bashing. I don't really know what to expect other than he just asked if we're adventurous and like roller coasters. At least I know for Leanne's sake there's no loops, so we should be all right.
We were clearly having the time of our lives, and we were excited to get out and play on the dunes. Our tour guide Mohammed even jumped in and joined us. The sea of sand seemed to go on forever, and we had barely scratched the surface of what it had to offer. So we hopped back in and headed off to see more. So Mohammed is showing us the cold lake here in the desert. It really is an oasis. So he's explaining that because it's summertime, it's not quite as big as usual, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Right in the middle of this giant sea of sand.
So as we've been being toured around the desert here in Siwa, we've been learning so much. Apparently, anywhere you dig in Siwa, if you dig over 1,000 feet into the ground, you're going to find natural hot springs and water rushing forward. And this right here is just an example of one of the 26 current hot springs that are in existence in Siwa. And tonight, we're actually going to be able to camp at one.
So our Siwa adventure is off to an amazing start. We're with the best tour guide, Muhammad, and we have been dune-bashing across the sea of sand, and it is just so much fun. It really does feel like you're on a roller coaster. You're just coming up and over, and I can't believe how steep some of these sand dunes are. And then we've been able to explore both the cold lake and the hot spring here. This is an amazing, amazing night, and the sun hasn't even set yet.
Now we need a bigger one. What happened? What happened? What? Now look how far you have to come back.
Mohammed just said he wants to be recorded coming up like heroes in a movie. Should I put them in slow motion? Good job, Mohammed.
Thank you.
we've made it to the hot spring camp, which is where we're staying tonight after the most beautiful sunset over the desert that I ever could have imagined. We went sandboarding, we sat there and drank tea, ate dates from this region and peanuts, and it was just one of those moments, you know, when you have like a totally blissed out moment where you just want to hold on to it forever. That's what it was. It was absolutely amazing just sitting on the dunes and seeing that sunset. And now we're here in this beautiful camp. We're gonna have a traditional dinner, and then I think we're gonna be able to take a dip even in the hot springs. So what a great ending to this first day here in Siwa. I couldn't have asked for anything more. Morning. So day 2 in Siwa is off to an amazing start. We slept in these tents you can see behind me here. We are at a hot spring camp. So last night we were able to take a quick dip, and this morning we woke up early for sunrise, which was absolutely amazing. I had actually thought Danny left the tent to go brush his teeth, and then I went out a few minutes after and I already found him taking a dip in the hot spring, watching the sunrise from that pool, which was so breathtaking. It was amazing. So we are really excited. Today is going to be a lot of history, a lot of culture. We're going to be learning a ton. Get to go to the fortress, the salt mines. It's going to be a great day. I can already tell. So we're really excited to get it going. Mohammed brought us to our guide for the day, who would show us around the historical sites of Siwa. So we started with one of the most famous places in town, the old Shali Fortress. After introductions, of course.
Where do you come from?
Hawaii?
Hawaii!
Yes, sir.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
First time I meet people from Hawaii.
Yeah,
good.
yes.
Great. The old Shali Fortress is a remarkable testament to the region's rich history and architectural heritage. Made entirely from traditional mud brick, the fortress blends seamlessly with the earth tone hues of the desert. Dating back centuries, the Shali Fortress once served as a protective stronghold for the local population. Over time, however, the fortress has weathered the elements, with heavy rain being its biggest threat. Today, the old Shali Fortress remains a symbol of Siwa's cultural identity, drawing visitors from around the world who are captivated by its historic charm and the breathtaking views from the top. Wow. We've made it to the top of the old Shali Fortress. Just learning about the history and the culture of the Siwan people is really amazing. It feels so special to be here. And the view from at the very top here is incredible. You can see the lake in the distance and the whole town.
Oh my gosh, so this is how they originally came into the village and left through the gate.
Our next stop was the Oracle Temple. Dedicated to the god Amun, this sacred site served as the dwelling place of a revered priestess who delivered prophecies to seekers from across the ancient world.
So right behind me in the Oracle Temple is the holiest of places that they considered in the temple. And if you come right over here, they found a secret passage where they believe somebody would speak any type of prophecy to the person standing in the holy temple. So the question is, was it actually an oracle that they would hear speaking to them while they were in the holy temple, hearing prophecy, or was it a trick by the temple priests?
Abu Bakr, who is Muhammad's father, by the way, has been showing us around today, and he's been sharing some of his own personal adventures, which are wild. I don't know if I can repeat them on here, but it's really fun just to get to know other people and how they grew up, and it's been so cool. I mean, him and Danny are clearly buddies at this point, and I love that. He's also shared some really cool stories about this oracle temple. And I guess when Alexander the Great was originally coming here, he got lost in the desert and didn't know which way to go, and saw two black birds and told his people, let's follow those birds, and that's how he found Siwa. So really cool place, so much history, and we're having a great time out here with Abu Bakr. Look at them, they're such buddies right now. We continued exploring the grounds, and then got a peek at our next historical stop, Dakrour Mountain. So now we're currently walking up Dakrour Mountain, and this is pretty epic. Walking up, we could see that the structures here were still intact, and learned that it not only has historical significance, but the mountain is actually still in use to this day. So Abu Bakr was explaining that Dakrour Mountain, one is used for sand baths, and so people would come if they had something like rheumatoid arthritis or other diseases, and they would go into these sand baths that would help remove and relieve them of their disease. And then the other thing that it's still used for today is these full moon celebrations. It's kind of like a fresh start, a new year, and it's meant to be a gathering where it would clean the hearts of the people. And so everyone gathers, they cook, they eat together, and they celebrate. And it sounds like a really special event to be part of. I think Daniel was looking for an invite. We made our way down one mountain before climbing our final one of the day, the Mountain of the Dead. This is the final resting place of thousands of inhabitants of Siwa, and the tombs and their hieroglyphs are so well preserved. We visited the tomb of Si Amun, with beautiful depictions and a gorgeous ceiling. As well as the tomb of Oasis, to see the line of cobra guarding his tomb.
We're here at the Mountain of the Dead, and this has been in use since the ancient pharaohs of Egypt, all the way through the Greek and Roman empires as well. And there are thousands of different tombs and crypts here for everyday people that lived in Siwa, but also for a few high-profile individuals whose paintings can still be found throughout the walls. And it's just absolutely incredible to be able to walk through these tombs and see the original artwork and the beautiful colors that are present. So I'm here with my partner in crime, looking some salt at these salt mines here in Siwa, and we're about to take a dip in this empty, giant pool. What? Hey, honey.
Hi.
So we've been floating here for just a little while, and by floating, I mean absolutely floating. Neither one of us are treading water.
It's like hard to keep your feet under you because it wants to lift you up.
You just have to maintain your balance.
You're totally weightless, and then even if you try and go down, like you try and go down, it just pulls you back up. Like I'm not doing that, and I'm just bobbing back and forth.
So it's absolutely beautiful. What ends up happening is that these are actually salt mines, And as they're digging up the salt, water from under the ground of Siwa comes up and fills these pools. And it's just so pristine, so clean. And people have come out here for decades and decades to swim in it.
And then as soon as you kind of dip down, it just brings you right up. It's amazing. What a great feeling.
So we're gonna enjoy a few more minutes here, then we're gonna rinse off in some fresh water that Mohammed has brought for us. Probably grab some lunch, and then tonight I believe we have a museum tour and sunset.
I'm ready for it. This is continuing to be an awesome adventure.
This has probably been our best decision to just come out to Siwa.
For sure. Do not miss Siwa.
Do not miss Siwa. We just got back to town from the salt pools and we're sitting enjoying some nice refreshing beverages and hanging out by a local spring that used to feed the old gardens or palm groves that they have here, where they produce dates and olives and stuff like that as their primary economy here in Siwa. And it's really funny to watch these teenage boys and young men jumping into the well and pushing each other, chasing each other around, and trying to impress each other with tricks. Watching the similarities between how my friends and I used to act and how these guys act is just really fun to know that people are people everywhere.
Well, we've cleaned up after the salt pools and now we've made our way to the Siwa Museum. We're meeting back up with Mohammed's father and he's going to show us around and teach us a bit more about Siwan history. The House of Siwa shows what life was like in this town. We learned about home life, cooking, fashion, how they use the resources around them, and their daily tasks. After the museum tour, it was time for one final sunset in Siwa.
So we've made it to Fatnas Island. It's our final stop of this entire adventure. And I'm about to try Siwan juice, which is a collection of milk and yogurt and dates. But we're here to watch a beautiful sunset before we head back to the hotel and get some rest. The trip here in Siwa has been absolutely incredible and breathtaking. And at times it's felt almost like we're in a movie. Just being toured around, shown this beautiful place, taken out in the dunes of the desert. Every aspect of this journey that they have prepared carefully for their guests here in Siwa is an absolute must-come and experience. So please, if you do get an opportunity, come out here and take it in for yourself, learn about these people, and just enjoy yourself, because we've had the best time.